Good morning, Tallahassee. It's time to wake up War Chant on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Here's WarChant.com's Aslan Hajavandi and Corey Clark.
What's up, everybody? It's Aslan here. It's not Wake Up War Chant. It's not 97.9 ESPN Radio either. We're not on the radio today. There's not even really a show. But Corey and I, along with Ira, as you know, we were in Charlotte a few weeks ago for ACC Kickoff. And, you know, we had the whole thing where we were struggling to get everybody on the program that had Florida State ties in terms of Willie, Cam Akers, and Brian Burns. It all worked out. But in the middle of all that, we kept getting random players from ACC teams seated in front of us, and we didn't want to be rude and tell them to leave. So we humored them and put the microphone on them and talked about a lot of stuff that had nothing to do with football. So you might not enjoy this. I don't know. You probably won't. But Corey and I joked one day that maybe we should just go ahead and let these see the light of day. It'll maybe keep you occupied for a few minutes on your travels and your Wednesday. Enjoy it. We'll see you on Thursday, though. We will be back in full force, Corey and myself, on Wake Up War Chant. It'll be the Renegade Express. Give us a call, 850-792-5730. Leave a message or go on the Tribal Council. We'll see you then. Otherwise, here are some of the interviews from Charlotte.
Back here at ACC Kickoff, I'm Aslan with Ira Schofel, managing editor of WarChant.com, and Seminole great Henri Crockett, also spent 7 years in the league. Henry, thanks for joining us, man. How are you?
Doing great.
How you like Charlotte? I've never been to Charlotte before for you.
Well, you know, I played in when I played for the Falcons. They're part of our conference, so I was always we come here at least once or twice a year.
Yeah, good times. So I'm going to go around asking you about football. I know Ira's going to ask you about the Orange Bowl and stuff. I just want to get your kind of thoughts on Florida State and the fact that you played for the program, you played at the next level. Just defensively, over the course of several years, a lot of the fans haven't seen what they're accustomed to seeing when you played, when Mickey Andrews was kind of coordinating the defense. How much has football changed, and how much has it stayed the same, and what do you kind of expect from this next leadership?
Some of the things, one thing about playing defense and playing football, one thing that should never change is effort. And I think when Coach Mickey Andrews coached us, it was all about effort. Coach Bowden was all about effort. And I think Coach Taggart come back in trying to exert that back into the program, where every player got a chance to compete. A lot of times when you go to, we didn't have 4 or 5 stars back then. Just either good or bad.
You prayed All-American.
Yeah. I was prayed All-American. But the thing about it was that now you have these 4 or 5 stars come in. You almost got to guarantee these guys they're going to play their freshman year. And now just speak with Coach Taggart. He tell the guys, your job to keep your job. It's my job to go out and find a replacement. So what that does is that creates a level of competitiveness. And so I'm excited to see the kids that's go out and just compete, because that's the one thing that was lacking, and it just stood out. It just jumped off the screen. Like, God, these guys are not competing. But I'm just excited to see, like, even in the spring game, in the spring games of past, they was more just laid back, more. It's almost like I don't know what it was, like a showcase. But this spring game, guys was out there competing. So just it's good to see that come back to Florida State. So I'm excited about this upcoming year.
You know, I know we don't have the playbook, so we don't know exactly what they were trying to execute on defense and things like that. But it just felt like so often that, you know, the ball would be snapped and you'd have guys that are back to the line of scrimmage, want to know what's going on. I mean, how much of defensive football has to get more complicated because of the way offensive football has been, or can you be prepared and go for it?
See, in football, like my coaches always tell me, if you can count to 3, you can play. But now these offensive schemes have changed so much, like a lot of movement. Like you play against the Carolinas, they do a lot of movement. What it does is it forces you to recount. And, you know, we spoke about this last year. I just felt like a lot of the guys' football IQ wasn't that high. So whenever a team moved against us, like, it just threw us off. And I think we're having the Callum Brooks, guys of that caliber, academic guys that come in, that they can think on the move, and they can retain the information from the classroom and bring it to the field. So I'm excited to see. The guys they're not as big name as the other guys, but they're smarter players. So I'm excited to see them compete.
I know we talk about lethal simplicity on offense, but I think defense is where we'll probably see it shine the most.
Yeah, it's important. It's important because, like, the game has changed. It's a fast-paced game now, and it's good to be able to go against a fast-paced offense in practice and actually help us prepare against the Carolinas and all those players.
There's been so much focus on the offensive side of the ball, but Harlan Barnett and what he did at Michigan State, did you get a chance to see much of what they've done? And he sounds like he's saying a lot of things that kind of remind fans of Coach Andrews a little bit.
He has more of an attack defense. Now, I noticed in the spring game, I saw the D lineman getting up the field more. And before, like, the interior guys was more just holding blocks. Back then, I couldn't tell Corey Simon or Renard Wilson to hold a block. Corey Simon getting upfield. So it's good to see that come back. This tack defense, and the cornerbacks, defensive backs are playing more in your face. So I'm excited to see what the new defensive staff has put together. What I did see, they're moving at a different pace than they did last year. So I'm excited for that.
All right, back here at ACC Kickoff in Charlotte, North Carolina. Aslan Hajavandi alongside Ricky Walker from Virginia Tech. Hokies, he's carrying the lunchpail, everybody. I wish you could see it. This thing is, you see it on television. How old is? Do you know how old that thing is? I don't know how old.
I don't know neither. I know it's been around for some while, for some time. That's the original lunchpail, though. That's the original one.
Man, it says win on it.
Yeah.
VT, man, team.
Yeah.
What does it mean to carry that thing? What does that mean to you guys?
Oh man, it means just it symbolizes us as a defense. How we go about things. Very hard working, blue collar like. Come to work each day, professional. And Coach Foster, he preaches that every day. And I was given the honor to be the pail keeper. That's a huge honor. And he gave me that role last fall. And ever since then, I took it heads on. And I'm excited to lead these guys for my senior year.
It's like 20-some-odd years, it feels like, that you guys have, Bud Foster's had a great defense up there in Blacksburg, and you guys have always responded. What is it about his message, or what is it about the culture of that program that's allowed year in and year out somebody just to kind of step up and you guys to be so strong?
Just playing under Bud and his experience, he has the knowledge, and he proves that each and every year. We don't really have no 5-star guys, 4-star guys. We got guys who are 2 or 3 stars who come in and work each day and work to greatness and want to be great. I think the history preaches that. But Bud he wants us to be great every day on the field and off the field. Because one thing he says, if we can't trust you on the field, we definitely can't trust you off the field. So that's how we want to be thought of and just how we go about things.
Do you guys do something special on defense? Is there something exotic? Is there something that people just can't grasp? Or is it just the fun? You guys are just solid on fundamentals is what makes Virginia Tech defense go?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's basically just playing ball. But it's pretty much the scheme. The scheme is a little different than everybody else. But other than that, it's just the will and want to. Everyone on the defense wants to be great and wants to make that play and flies around and is hard working and tough and wants to win. And like I said, it's just guys who, we don't, are people who've been in the program for a while, and knows what it takes. So,
senior defensive lineman Ricky Walker from Virginia Tech joining us here on Wake Up War Chant, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Ricky, you mentioned the fact that you guys might not have all these, All-American guys,
right,
Under Armour All-American 4 or 5-star. So when you play the Clemsons, you play the Miamis, you play the Florida States that have these flashy names, if you will, is there like a chip on the shoulder at all?
Personally, no, but maybe to a certain extent. But other than that, we prepare no different than if it was a Wake Forest. Those guys, because at the end of the day, the game has to be played. But those games is a little more. The Miamis and the Clemsons and the Florida States is definitely a little more. It gives you a little more juice and a little more energy to get a chance to showcase your talent and your ability against those 4 or 5 stars. Yeah.
So you're a fifth-year senior, and you've been there for obviously Coach Beamer and then now Coach Fuente.
Yeah.
Florida State's going through a coaching change as well. They have a first-time head coach. Are you guys? I mean, can you compare how far along you guys are now to year one under Coach Fuente? I mean, was it pretty instant, or does it take time to?
It definitely took time to to buy into Coach Fuente and his process. First year we won the ACC Coastal under Fuente, and that was huge. We had great senior leadership that year. Those guys who didn't get a chance to win it with Coach Beamer. But Coach Fuente found a way to get it done with those guys, and ever since then, personally, ever since that year, I've been bought in and intrigued by everything that this man, Coach Fuente, does and says, because I trust him and believe in the process. He went down to Memphis and turned that program around dramatically. Those guys was winning like 2-3 games a year to win the conference back to back. He just the stuff he does and how we prepare and work and the things we do in the offseason is definitely different. So I'm excited, and I believe now year 3 it's pretty much we're all in to Coach Fuente.
Is there anything in particular that happens over from year 1 to year 2 to year 2 to year 3 that allows that growth to occur?
Anything particular? I mean, other than
year one, you figure everyone's excited. Like I would figure year one, everybody does buy. Like we got the new guy, let's go. But it does take some time.
It takes some time, definitely. Yeah. It definitely takes time for everybody. You know, like you said, some people year one is like, oh yeah, we got a new coach and all that. But I don't think that pretty much was our case. You know, because Coach Beamer was a great guy. But like you said, year three now, it's proven. You know, I tell the new guys all the time. You know. The stuff we're doing now is what gets us over the top in the fall from the other teams. So just believe in the process and trust this guy. You know, his first year here, we won 10 games. So, you know, it gets no better than that.
How do you go about preparing for a team in an opener that has a first-year head coach? That's a pretty radical departure from how they used to be.
Yeah. You know, I mean, nothing really changes preparation-wise other than film. You know, you got to watch Oregon, you got to watch Maryland, you got to watch Florida State for personnel. But other than that, the preparation, you know, we're working out and all that. Pretty much it gives us a little motivation. Monday night, only game on TV. There's nowhere to hide that night. It's going to be pretty exciting. Great program, great playing in front of great people, great tradition, dope Campbell Stadium. It definitely gets no better than that.
Is it any more difficult to get ready or go against these up-tempo, no-huddle offenses? You know, Florida State with Jimbo Fisher was very much methodical. We're going to get to the line. We're going to identify. We're going to check.
Yeah.
But with this stuff, it's like we're just going to keep going.
Yeah. You know, it's 2018 now, so pretty much everybody is doing that. And there's definitely a challenge on defense, you know, because you have to, you know, you have to look over, get the call. You have to execute. But then you have to do it again, you know, at a fast pace, you know. Then you get tired, and then you got guys cramping and all that. So it takes a toll on us. But you know, we're doing things now for that. You know, whether it's hydrating, you know, conditioning in the heat. You know, we're doing little things like that to help us be in the best shape for that.
I think over spring, Taggart mentioned that they'd already started sort of, I don't say game planning, but looking ahead to you guys, obviously. I mean, do you guys begin in the spring as well to kind of install some stuff to think about for Labor Day for your opener?
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure the coaches are always ahead of the game. I'm pretty sure that once the spring was over, those guys definitely started breaking down the film.
Right. No huddle up-tempo stuff. You know, I covered high school football for a long time, and that's what mainly the high schools are running.
Right.
And a lot of the coaches would tell me, like, the main benefit for them was the five guys, when you talk about offensive line play, like all five guys need to do their job for a play to get off pretty well. If one guy messes up his job, everything kind of goes by the wayside. But when you run like that no huddle up tempo stuff, for some reason it feels like the offensive line maybe doesn't have to be as.
Nope. All they have to do is just do enough. Just being away for a couple seconds, you know, and let the ball get out the quarterback hands.
I mean, it is almost as simple as that, right? I mean, like
it really is.
They don't have to hold blocks really as much.
No, not in a fast tempo. I think that's why you see some teams doing that. Maybe because you know, it fits their personnel for that year, but other than that, it definitely is a problem for defense. But you know, it's we face our own offense is pretty up tempo and fast, but we face them every day in practice, so we should be fine.
And just for you personally, man, I mean, just what does it mean to have one final year and to be the Pale Keeper and to, you know, have all this ahead of you?
Yeah, you know, it's an honor. I'm excited. You know, I came back from my senior year. It was exciting. You know, I wanted to come back and win the championship and just play for one more year under Coach Foster and Coach Fuente. You know, those guys they gave me their best interest. And you know, I just love working for them and playing under them because I know that they're going to give me their best intention, and I'm gonna give them mine. So I'm excited, looking forward to the season.
And then with all these pieces kind of moving around on defense, with guys facing injuries or, you know, things that are going to affect their ability to actually be out on the field with you guys, how do you guys kind of maintain the order and keep things calm and focused?
You know, the next guy has to step up. You know, and that's what, you know, Coach Foster always preached. You know, you're one play away from being that guy, and we have a lot of situations like that. We had a you know, a long offseason. We lost major guys, but Coach Foster.
But doesn't get you guys down or affect your guys' mindset?
No, it doesn't at all because, you know, people ask me that question all the time, and I tell them as long as Bud Foster's in Blacksburg, there's nothing to worry about, so we'll be fine.
I got you. All right. Ricky Walker, senior defensive tackle for the Virginia Tech Hokies, joining us here on Wake Up War Chant. Thanks for the time, man.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
Yes,
Best of luck
sir.
to you this season.
You're locked in to Wake Up War Chant on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I think we saved the best for last, everybody, right?
Yeah,
That
that's
is
right.
from West Canaan, Connecticut. We've got Zach Allen here from Boston College joining us on Wake Up War Chant. I'm Aslan. Corey's here as well. Zach, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. How did you guys get down to Charlotte?
We flew from on JetBlue. So nice.
No private jet? Come on, man.
No, I don't know. Yeah, no. I mean, JetBlue is nice.
I've never been on JetBlue. I've never been on JetBlue. But I've heard really good things about JetBlue. Kind of jealous.
Did you have a movie? It's probably not too short a flight for a
It
movie.
was probably just under 2 hours. So,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I got a test tomorrow, so I got to study for that.
Oh, all
summer
right.
classes kill me.
Summer.
Yeah,
That's not, that's
try to
not
graduate
cool.
in December. Yeah.
So I noticed you guys are the only ones that have your own jackets.
Yeah.
Blazers.
Is there anybody else that has a blazer that you've noticed? Like, there's no Clemson blazer or anything, is there?
I don't think so. I think we're the only team in the ACC that's got them.
So
yeah.
everybody on the team, does that come
Everybody
with
on the team's got
how
it.
many do you get? Just one?
We get one. We get a new one every year. Yeah. So I mean, you only need it for 12, 13 games, and then if you get invited to a couple banquets or a couple appearances, you got
Oh,
it.
okay.
But
All
yeah,
right.
so we just got fitted about a week and a half ago for
It's
our new
kind
ones.
of cool, man. I wish the other teams did that.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
Plus, we know what school you're at.
Exactly. It's
That
easy to
helps.
identify.
When you guys get off the bus at the stadium, are you in the suits?
Yeah, we always go into the game. We're always in the suits, and then after games, if we win, we wear sweats, and if we lose, we're back in the suits.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
Gives you a little incentive.
What do you guys think of football in the South, up in Connecticut, like college football? Obviously, NFL is a huge deal. Like, do your friends back in Connecticut get like how people in the South like love and care and worship college football?
Well, the thing, my high school, everybody like goes to college. They're all, I want to get out of the Northeast. I'm tired of the snow. So I come back home and everybody's, either going to Clemson or Florida State, and they're,
Really?
So
They're tan?
Yeah, they're all tan. They're always talking about. They all turned into football. They're always trying to talk to me about football and stuff like that. Oh, I was one girl, one of my friends. She was lab partners with Deshaun Watson, so I learned about Deshaun Watson and how he handles science class
That's cool.
the entire time I was home. Yeah, so.
How was your recruiting? How did that go? I mean, do you know what star? Like, were you a star?
I was a three-star. I was a
Okay.
three-star. Yeah, I had a good amount of offers. I mean, I had the typical ones every Northeast kid had.
What are the typical? Like, what's the typical?
If you're
Rutgers?
a decent Northeast prospect, you get Rutgers, BC, UConn, Syracuse, and Pitt, and then after that it kind of expands. But I had I had UVA in the ACC. I had a good amount, but I was actually committed to Northwestern for a while, and then about almost 9 months, and then I decommitted, and then I was deciding between BC and Penn State
What
because
made you decommit?
I wanted to stay closer to home. That was kind of where it was. So Penn State's about a 5-hour drive from my house.
I don't
BC's
think we've
about
ever
3.
talked to a kid that decommitted. So, I mean, I have in my life, just
Yeah.
not on this show. So who did you call?
I called the head coach at Northwestern, Coach Fitzgerald, and then I called.
Were you scared? Were you nervous?
Yeah, I mean you're scared, definitely.
Because it's not great news you're getting.
Exactly.
Someone.
Did you
Yeah.
think it all about just texting him, or was your parents like, "There's absolutely no way you're doing this"?
Or emailing him, or just not signing.
Yeah, no. Well, it was awkward because a couple of days before, one of their coaches came in and handed me the letter, the national signing letter, and tried to put me through it. So I was it was kind of a little awkward there, but called them. Definitely, you're nervous because you're a 17-year-old kid telling this guy, "Look, I'm not coming." So that was definitely, a lot of pressure, but at the same time, I trusted my decision. I thought it was the best decision for me. So, there was no really talking me out of it. And then, it was just between Penn State and BC, and I realized, I loved what they were doing up at BC, and decided to commit.
It's cool. Boston's a cool city too.
Yeah,
Did
definitely.
That play? I mean, I had to have played a role in it.
Well, it's it's easy for my parents and my grandma and my aunt to come up and see me, all my friends too. So that's huge. It's easy to to commute to, because you just take the train. It's 2.5 hours, or you just drive and it's 2.5 hours. But also, I think the big thing was just what Coach Adazzi was building. I mean, you could just tell that the first few years, he really had to kind of clean up what was happening before, and I think he's done a phenomenal job, and that's why I think this year you're kind of hearing all the, the positive, press for kind of the first time in a little bit because, before, this is really kind of his class is us, so.
So you said when you win a game, you get to wear sweats.
Yeah.
When you lose, you have to wear the blazer.
Right.
When you beat Florida State 35-3, is it just shirtless?
Yeah. Well, they
just go streaking.
Well, the ESPN cameras were in the locker room, and usually guys are out just doing their own thing. So that was kind of a little bit of a curveball for us. But yeah, no, we home games is you get to go, you just get to leave, so you don't.
Oh, I gotcha.
So it's just the road game. So
So what did you do when you walked out of that stadium? After 35-3, it's a Friday night. It's still probably midnight, 12:30. You can still go have some fun.
Yeah, well, it was our bye week was the next following week, and Halloween was that week. So so it was a lot of fun. So the Halloween story that everybody jokes about was because I was so into the season because we really had a special group last year too. Right. That I forgot to get a Halloween costume. Everybody was talking about it. I just never focused on it, and. So I'm like, I got nothing. I'm just going to go out in normal clothes or whatever. And one of my friends, she had a woman's medium Where's Waldo costume. Oh. So I was wearing this tight crop top, just long sleeve shirt. Everybody loved it. I mean, the pictures were countless, but it was definitely, I mean, it was funny. It was just, a good time. Right. Yeah.
Is that on Instagram somewhere?
I don't think it's on Instagram.
Let's hope
not. Yeah. But no, it's, if that picture, comes up,
Yeah, you might run for senator one day or something, man.
You know what? Honestly, it'll give everyone a good laugh. I'm fine with it. It's all good.
I know this might sound cheesy because I've never played ball, but when you're playing football and you're beating a team and it's a 35-3 game, is there at any point where, you see or you feel the other team, surrender almost?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I think it was, I don't know. I mean, you never want to. You never want to say that a team quit because But I think at a certain point, in the fourth quarter, when you realize this game was kind of over, you realize our preparation paid off. We did well with it, but I don't think Florida State quit at all that game. I think they fought till the end. I think that quarterback Blackman, he's a tough. I mean, I don't know how much he weighed or what he was listed or what he actually was, but that kid could stand in and take a hit because we rocked him pretty good, and he just came right back up and did it again. So I have, all the respect in the world for that quarterback and Florida State as a program.
You guys say we're going to take everything one game at a time. The preparation doesn't change. But when it's a Friday night game, it's Florida State, national TV. I mean, is there extra juice in it? How is it different?
Well, that game, too, was the red bandana game. So what it means for us with Wells Crowther, and his family always shows up, and just what it means for BC, you never want to let it down. So, my sophomore year, when we got beaten pretty bad by Clemson on that game, that had a little extra sting. So coming back, we know we kind of wanted to correct that, and we watched the little movie every year, the Wells Crowther movie, and guys are in tears because it really is a really moving and touching, powerful story. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, he's the greatest example of a BC man, and very lucky to wear the red bandana and represent that.
And if our listeners don't know, Google the name. Mm-hmm. It's a great story. Yeah. It's an inspiring story for sure.
And if you're an opposing team, you don't want to play BC on a red bandana night.
Yeah, well, we got Miami this year.
Oh,
so.
Good.
Yeah, you do. Is that a Friday night too?
It's a Friday night, red bandana, but I mean, it's Miami. They're a hell of a team. So it's even with that whole atmosphere and it being a short week, it's still going to be a really tough game for us.
Right.
Zach Allen, Jr., stand down the defensive side of the ball for the Boston College Eagles, joins us here on Wake Up Warchant. Thanks for your time, Zach.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Welcome back to ACC Kickoff in Charlotte. I'm Aslan. Corey's here as well. We're joined by John Grenard from Louisville. The Cards, the L, throw them up. How are you, man?
I'm good. Jonathan Grenard corrects too.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
No, you correct me. That's fine. No. That's what we do. He doesn't correct me enough. I goof up on the show all the time, and Corey's too nice. So.
Oh, yeah, I heard it all day, man. I had to tell him too.
So, how is this day for you guys? Would you rather be at home, hanging out with the lady friend or, lifting, or is this fine with you?
This is actually fine with me. I mean, I love to be around the football atmosphere. It kind of gets your blood boiling, just to get ready back to doing what you're used to doing every single Saturday. So it's definitely a great feeling, a great experience. It's an honor to be here, to be notarized and being to be considered the best player in the ACC.
You're from Hiram, Georgia. Are you familiar with Hiram at all, Corey?
Where is Hiram?
About 30 minutes north of Atlanta. It's like the county next to Cobb County.
All right, so I'm from Gwinnett County.
All right, you're from Gwinnett.
So what county is Hiram?
Mine is Paulding County.
Oh, okay.
So I used to live in DeKalb County.
There you go.
And I went to middle school out there. So
what high school would you have gone to?
I would have went to either Tucker or Lakeside.
Okay, well, I've definitely heard of those.
Yeah, I ended up moving out back to where I'm at Hiram.
That's a little bit of a culture change.
Oh, man. Yeah, because my mother got remarried to move to the city where she's in DeKalb. And when she met my stepfather, and then my mother wanted to move back out to where we were at previously at Hiram. So
gotcha.
Keeping with my friends and stuff like that.
Were you recruited at all by the in-state schools?
Georgia came to my school once. They wanted me to come to the camp. I didn't come. Georgia, I didn't get any Georgia offer.
What about Tech?
No Georgia Tech, no Georgia State, no Georgia schools.
Were you? I mean, you're a good player, obviously, and you knew you were good.
Yeah,
Were you confused by that?
I didn't. Honestly, I was confused, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's just football. It's recruiting. I mean, I can't get mad at. They didn't see something they didn't like in me. So somebody obviously did with Coach Grantham and University of Louisville and Bobby Petrino. So all those people definitely believed in me. So that's why I'm here now.
Who finished second in your recruiting process?
Missouri.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was UK, Missouri, and Louisville that came to my top 3.
All right. Mm-hmm. It's been fun, man. Louisville's been a fun.
It's been a fun journey. It's been a fun journey. I did not expect this, though. I would say that.
Is it 4th Street in downtown Louisville? That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Do you say Louisville or Louisville?
Louisville. I've grown to say Louisville.
Yeah,
when I first got there, I was and sometimes I even still say Louisville, but it's just they'll correct you really quick. Yeah, it's Louisville is definitely pronunciation.
There's a town in Mississippi spelled the same exact way, and they pronounce it Louisville.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that. I learn something new every day.
Threw me for a loop. So, can you tell us what it's like? I mean, come on, be real. There's nobody here. There's no SID. You can say whatever you want. I'm not saying you're going to say anything bad. What's it like playing for Coach Petrino? What kind of dude is Coach Petrino?
Man, Coach Petrino,
he's from Montana and actually worked at a town in Montana where his dad's from, and everybody loves the Petrino name in Montana rings out.
Oh, man. No, Coach Petrino is well respected everywhere he goes. So we know he knows he's talking about it when it comes to football. So when you ask him questions or he's getting on you kind of have to understand that this guy knows what he's talking about. He's not just blowing smoke up you. So the simple fact of him being on me every single day, being on players and coach great players and being around great players and coming from a winning culture, you have to respect that, and you have to hear the message and not the tone. So most times he can get at you as any coach would. He may be a little bit more harsh. However, you just got to take it and run with it because you got to understand the bigger picture.
Would you say is fun a word you would use to describe playing for Coach Petrino?
It can be. It's how you take it. We see players, Coach Petrino, whenever he's getting on to you, you have to you can't really take it you can't take it personal. You have to really just keep it going. And the thing is, you never know what you're going to get. One day he's going to say, hey, he loves you 1 second, and the next second he might be getting on to you. So it's like a love-hate relationship, but it's all good. And he has our best interests at heart.
Do you hear or read anything about Willie Taggart at Florida State and all the guys talking about how it's about fun and keeping things fresh? I mean, are you kind of like, man, that would have been kind of cool?
I mean, we probably have some people like that. Yeah, it does be like that sometimes. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I wouldn't change this experience for nothing. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm here for a reason. I've gotten to how I am because of Coach Petrino. He's made me become and build tough skin. I mean, now he'll say stuff purposely to get up under your skin to see how you react. And everybody knows when I get angry, I play a lot better. So it's just a simple fact of you just got to be able to learn how to adjust to it.
Now, this is a Florida State-centric show, obviously, and I'm going to bring up a painful moment for the listeners, but one that was probably fond in your memory. 2 years ago, 2016, Florida State comes to town, big game.
Big game.
I'm sure you went into that game expecting to win. You're a competitor. You had a good team. What are you saying to yourself and your teammates when it's 63-10 in the fourth quarter?
Man.
I mean, that stunned everyone.
It's crazy because even to this day, I'm still shocked. Because it's like
so are we.
It's like I did not expect that. I actually got my first sack in that game. My first collegiate sack, and I was just like, even then I was like, yo, this is not happening. So we actually ended up watching film, and we looked at it and we just dominated. And that's the thing, we dominated every aspect, special teams, offense, defense. We just kept staying on them the entire game. And if we play like that every single game, nobody can beat us, period. Right. So if that was probably our best game that I've seen in Louisville, period, that I've offense and defense and special teams.
Where were you on the field last year when the quarterback for Florida State fumbled in the fourth quarter?
Was I on the field?
They were going into, I guess,
they were going in to take the lead. I don't know if I was in the game. I don't think. No, I wasn't in the game. I don't believe.
What was
all I remember is because they kept driving kind of so easy somewhat, and I was just like, all right, come on, we're gonna get a stop. We're gonna get a stop. And then I put my head down to get some water. For a split second, I hear the crowd just gasp and like, oh, and I was like, I looked and I seen that our team was recovered, and I was like, thank you. Because when I tell you, the way they were driving, it just seemed like everything had everything right. So it just is a costly mistake, and we just capitalized.
Yeah, we all thought.
And you were never able, I'm sure, allowed to tackle Lamar Jackson in practice.
Man. Yeah, I've tackled him one time.
Oh, they let you? Was it an
All
accident?
right, so when we all first came in, me and Lamar came in the same class.
Okay.
So we were with the threes at one point. So when we go live tackling, this is during camp, they let them go live. First play of the game, he does a read option, takes it for about 60, 70 yards, touchdown. After that, I kind of got a feel of how he does the read option stuff.
Right.
And he'll tell you to this day. So I'm probably like the only person that's somewhat not figured him out, but I've got somewhat of a grasp of it. And I ended up reading it from the backside and chased him down and hawked him down and tackled him before he could get started. And that was the last time I've ever tackled Lamar. And after that last scrimmage, he broke for another 70, 80-yard touchdown. He wasn't live anymore.
So you have more tackle on him than
a lot
any
of
the Florida State defenders.
Yes.
It would seem.
Yes, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about that one.
All right, man. Jonathan Grenard.
Thank you. Jonathan Grenard.
There we go. Remember the name, folks. We will.
Sir.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it,
Have a good one.
You're locked in to Wake Up War Chant on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
It's the final one. We thought Zach Allen from Boston College the last one, but we've got Eric Dungey, starting quarterback for the Syracuse Orange. Back in our day, it was Orange Men.
Yeah.
But now it's just the Orange. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good. Is this the longest, most grueling day that's not contact-related for you as a football player?
It's not too bad. I'm sure my teammate Chris Slayton's not having too great of a time. He's not a talker, but I don't mind it. So.
What's the media coverage like for Syracuse football?
We got a couple of reporters that come to every practice, of course, but it's not too big, I'd say.
And it's a huge journalism school, though.
Major
so
journalism.
There's a lot of student journalists there. Are they at least coming and asking you questions?
They come often. So.
Okay.
When this is over, do you want to be the guy on Fox Sports or NBC, talking about ball?
That'd be nice. I'm an accounting major right now, so that's where I'm going right now. I'm interning at Merrill Lynch, doing some financial advising.
In New York? Like city of New York?
No, I wish. Just in Syracuse.
Okay. Easy. Come on, man. He's still in school. Relax, man.
Still in school. Don't have that much time. But, it's that'd be awesome, though, to do some reporting.
Could we ever grasp what you have to go through as a student athlete? How busy your guys' days really are?
It kind of depends on the student athlete. Some of the guys, they take easier courses, easier classes and majors. But, I would say if you're a student athlete, take advantage of the education that you're given. So that's why I'm in the business school. I wanted to be actually a doctor, but I just didn't have enough time for that.
Right.
So
nobody's got time for that.
Yeah, so my parents and I talked, and I think accounting was the best thing for me. And I'm very interested in it. I like numbers and all that. So it's been fun, and I just want to be in the business world after this.
We were talking off the air before we got on that you're from Oregon originally.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know if you could have chosen a school literally further from home, except in Europe.
Oh, I know.
What is Syracuse like for an Oregon kid?
It's very similar to where I grew up. Upstate New York is a lot different than the big city, so it's very outdoorsy. Geographically, it's very similar to where I grew up.
Snowy? Does it snow in Oregon?
It doesn't snow in Oregon. That's the only difference. That's a major difference, but it's really not that bad. The first winter, there's a lot of snow, but you get a big coat, and they do a good job with the roads, and you just kind of put your nose down and walk to where you got to go.
So do you feel like in 5 years, 10 years, whenever your career's over, whenever you start your next career, do you think you'll still be in New York? Or are you going back out west? Has Syracuse gotten its hooks into you?
I'm a West Coast kid, definitely.
Yeah, still.
So I think I want to go back west or somewhere down south.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Were you the guy in high school, man, I just want to start over anew as far away from home as I can? Or?
That was never the case. I always just wanted to make a name for myself. And, a lot of the kids from my high school, they go to Oregon or Oregon State. And you kind of just do the same thing. You get into their parents with the Oregon and Oregon State, and you just with the same people. I wanted to branch out, meet new people, try to make a name for myself across the country. So. And,
of course, get away from the shadow of your father, Tony Dungey, Hall of Fame. How many people has anyone ever thought that you were related to Tony Dungey?
Yeah, sometimes. I actually, his son, Eric, he's got a son, Eric Dungey. So him and I talk. It's kind of funny how things worked out. He actually went to Oregon to play football.
Yeah.
So
that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So it was an interesting story with that. But.
And I know you got to go. I wanted to ask you, though, real quick, kid from Oregon playing in Syracuse. What is it like when you play at a place like Clemson or a place like Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee? Is that fun for you guys to be on the road in those kinds of environments?
I love it. It's at first, my freshman year was obviously more intimidating than a 7,000 or 8,000 crowded high school stadium. But here it's awesome. It's one of the best experiences there is in college football, and just the fans down in there in Tallahassee and down at Clemson, they're awesome, and it's why I love playing college football and just going into hostile environments and playing there.
Right.
The last question for me. I mean, do you think the ACC's got the best crop of quarterbacks in the nation?
I think the ACC's got a great crop of all the athletes in the nation. You look around just top to bottom, especially the Atlantic side. So it's, I think, top to bottom, the best conference in college football. So
there we go. All right, man.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, guys.